See, I've been saying this and saying these things for such a long time. And when I said it, people laughed at me, people joked with me, people thought I was crazy. Remember the time I told you that Eddie Hearn has turned boxing into WWE? And I said that it was Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon being Barry Hearn and Shane McMahon being Eddie Hearn, and people laughed at me. And that I came with that whole idea of that when the whole shenanigans between Wilder and Joshua was about, and I said these guys don't want that fight at the time. They didn't want to fight. When they approached Barry Hearn said, "Oh, we don't need this fight until 2024." He was saying it fishing. We don't need this fight until 2024. And Shelly Finkel won that fight like early. Didn't want it. So anyway, so I said, what needs to happen is that they need to be SmackDown versus Raw. And in this case, there needs to be Frank Warren versus Eddie Hearn. And in a nutshell, I describe both camps. One is show and one is substance. When I talk about the two promoters, Hearn is a better promoter. He's a better promoter. But Warren has like Hearn is show and Warren is substance. Substance. You know, he's got experience. He knows the sport of boxing. So, like, what's happening now in boxing? What's happening now is money talks. Yeah? And the way the Saudis are going, right? I'll even go even further. I'll go further into this. So now we're going to get Warren versus Hearn. This is why them two dudes came together, were brought together. And you know, it makes me wonder because if you look at things, it became like almost annoying every week. The media picking up what Warren's saying or what Hearn is saying, what Warren's saying, what Hearn is saying. It was just really annoying. Pardon me, my life. See, it was really annoying because it either be Warren or Hearn. What Warren was saying or what Hearn was saying. What Hearn was saying. I'm like, I don't care what Warren or Hearn is saying. I don't know what the boxers are doing. I keep hearing this over and over again. It got to a point which is just totally annoying. You just turn on the Warren said this, Hearn said that, he said this, she said that. It got really annoying. But it seemed to me like it was like a pantomime. And the pantomime has had to be put to one side so certain fights could happen. So before you know it, you'll have Undisputed. And then, like, the heavyweight division will start to get a move on again. I just hope Fury doesn't decide to pull out with some injury, because I can see the Saudis will definitely get to town on him and sue his ass. So he better turn up and fight. I don't think he wins, to be honest. I don't think he beats Usyk, but I think he needs to lose a lot of weight to beat Usyk, and he's going to need to be speed. He's going to need his speed and mobility, or else he's just going to have a big lump moving around the ring. And Usyk's speed and movement and feet are going to bedazzle Fury. That's what I think, because Fury's going to come in and fight the same way he fought Wilder. And as you saw against Ngannou, that didn't work. And I don't think it works against Usyk either. But anyway, so yeah, exactly. You're right, Liam. So I think that one of these promoters, either Warren or Hearn, is going to get seriously damaged by this event or these fighters coming together. Because if their fighters, or if Hearn's fighters all get destroyed, then the myth of matchroom fighters being better, they might be better promoted. I don't think they're better fighters. And he doesn't care. Because there are many times he's thrown guys out there, like into Lion's Den, to get smashed to bits. I mean, he was talking about Callum Smith. He's gonna knock Artur Beterbiev out face forward. Then he was talking. Hearn talks too damn much. Then he was talking about, easy fight, mismatch. Fury's gonna destroy Ngannou. Then it was, Ngannou is gonna get Joshua easy work. it's a mismatch. Francis Ngannou's not very good. I could tell you from day one, Francis Ngannou was dangerous. Now here's something that may interest you. And now you may laugh at me for a second, yeah? I played UFC 4 with Tyson Fury and Ngannou. I uploaded it, yeah? When I was actually playing, I actually dropped Fury in the game. Didn't knock him out. I think I knocked him out once, but I dropped him in the game. He said, it's only a game. Now, when I put Ngannou and Joshua up last night, the first 2 times I fought Joshua and Ngannou was knocking Joshua down. And I might say, it's only a game. But then what I had to do to beat Ngannou, literally it was tactical, right? The left hook was the punch that I was catching Ngannou with a lot. But I had to be careful. When I got on the inside, I was getting beaten up because Ngannou was too strong. And then from the outside, I literally had to wait for Ngannou to throw his punches. And then when he's pulling his head back, then hit him with a right hand left hook combination. When I was throwing the jab with Ngannou, I was still getting caught with punches. I was getting caught on the inside. He was hitting with uppercuts as well. It was a very difficult fight. So the first 2 fights I got knocked up by Ngannou. The jab alone was rocking me when I was Joshua. So I had to literally, when Ngannou threw his jab, I had to kind of step back and throw the right hand over the top. And then when I threw the right hand over the top, I would then stun him with the left hook. But anytime I tried to rush him with a double jab right hand combination, Ngannou would block it and catch it with the left hook. So Ngannou has got the ability to catch and shoot. Now, when I broke down Joshua versus Ruiz, the first fight, I said that Joshua does not protect himself from a left hook. He's very vulnerable to the left hook, the catch and shoot left hook. The same catch and shoot left hook that caught Fury. And if you can catch Fury, it can damn well catch Joshua. Now, I don't know what the hell Otto Volin was doing, because Otto Volin did nothing. He did nothing like what he did against Fury. But Ngannou will come to fight. He'll come to fight. He'll come and fight. And anyone who comes to fight against Joshua doesn't look good against guys that come to fight. He doesn't. Like I said this, when they actually come to fight, would they come with the intention to cause damage? He doesn't do well under pressure. When the punches are flying, Joshua does not do well. He hasn't done well in the past, right? And when he gets hit with a punch, you got to look at what Joshua does when he gets hit with a punch and he gets hurt. Now, can you imagine Joshua getting hit and hurt by Ngannou and trying to hold on to Ngannou? That's not going to bode very well. And you look at Andy Ruiz, they push him over so easily. So Joshua has to keep this. I don't know how he's going to deal with Ngannou's physical strength. And Ngannou's not just strong. The boy knows how to fight. He knows how to fight. And he's come from a world where he doesn't only have to avoid punches, but kicks as well. And I can tell you, coming from that martial arts background, I can tell you where he was doing mixed martial arts, where we had, it wasn't UFC, it was, what do they call this thing? BCKL, it was British Contact Karate Organization, but it was a combination of Wing Chun, Kung Fu, karate. There's a combination of all. And what we do, we'd fight open contact, which basically means punches, kicks, straight punches, spinning back kick, spinning front kick, axe kick, all them punches and kicks you can throw. And there's nobody can, and if you draw blood, it's not a problem. But I would go to some of these tournaments and fight, and if I just threw a straight jab and then a right hand, I'd get in trouble, I'd get disqualified because I drew blood. So, in terms of open class, you're looking at punches and kicks. And let me tell you something, it's much easier to box than it is to kickbox, because you're having to look not only for punches, kicks. In boxing, you're looking for the feint, but you're looking for feints from the arms, the legs. The kick can come from the middle, run the side, spin around. It's a totally different scenario. All Ngannou has to do is look out for the left hand and the right hand. And it's not that easy, but this guy's had experience. You've got to look at the kind of dudes he's fought, the big dudes he's fought, how he's fought. So for those idiots that were out there saying, Ngannou can't fight, heavyweight champion of the world, the UFC. Come on, man. This guy has got better. He's gotten beat. He's come back and he's gotten better. And you look at the track record of that. That's why I knew when he fought Fury. Fury's in a world of trouble, and he just got out of that fight. He just got out of the fight. Oh, we've got footage on Francis. Yeah? So you got footage on Francis. He's still going to punch you on the chin. If you're lazy with that left and not block that left hook, he's still going to hit you on the chin. There's footage of you getting knocked out. There's plenty of footage of you getting knocked out. There's plenty of footage of you not being able to block the left hook. There's plenty of footage of you when you get hit on the chin, how you react. So when they talk about, oh yeah, you've got the footage now, Francis, so we're okay. Well, people had lots of footage of Mike Tyson. That didn't bode them very well when they got punched in the mouth. So there's a lot of stuff that's going flying around in boxing that it's just rubbish. Absolute. People just don't know what to say because they're getting exposed. That's the problem. People are getting exposed. And another thing about boxing, while I'm here on my rant, I will say this. What are these managers doing in boxing? I'm sick and tired and fed up of hearing about, I didn't have enough, I was ring rusty. Can you imagine a football team, a football club working like boxers? Could you imagine? Like, so Man United decided, right, you know what? Well, we're not going to play because, we haven't had any practice. Man United's a bad example. Maybe Real Madrid or Barcelona or Man City or Liverpool. Oh, we're not going to play for half a year or a year and a half, and then we're going to come back and start playing. Ridiculous. Professional athletes, you should be getting practice. Even if it's behind closed doors, you need to be getting plenty of sparring and plenty of fighting. If you're professional, and if your manager's professional, they need to actually making fights. And if you take a pay cut to keep yourself in shape, you've got to do it. You've got to keep fighting, because this is why a lot of these fighters you're going to see fall by the wayside. It's a new strategy in boxing. Keep you in the cold, keep you out of fighting, don't offer you any fights. So if you don't offer you any fights, you fight. And if you don't fight, and guess what? You come in the ring looking like Deontay Wilder. Particularly at his age, when you need speed, he relies on speed and reflexes. And he's got a poor coach. So put those three things together, you get a disaster, is what you got with Deontay Wilder against Parker. Because people bring a memory of the past. They don't bring in the data of what's currently the situation. Guys, man's been out almost 2 years, had one fight in 2 years, and it was one round. And then they calculate the fight he had against Stavern, and then they use that Wilder into 2024. Doesn't work like that. Boxing doesn't work like that. You need to bring the data from what it is. Guy's been out for a long time, therefore he's not going to be as sharp. And the last time we saw him fight, he was getting beaten up badly by Fury, and he was blowing out his ass. The last meaningful fight. And then Helenius decided to just jump out the crowd and get in the ring and run at Wilder. Didn't prove much. So even this Otto Wallin fight doesn't really prove much, because Otto Wallin didn't do nothing. Was that a credit to Joshua because he intimidated Wallin? Maybe. But Wallin didn't do anything. So can we say that Joshua is back? And back to old Joshua. It's another bit of BS coming from the media. Back in the day when Joshua was on the march, when he was going towards a world title, they told us he was learning on the job. So, right, if Joshua was learning on the job, then he wasn't a finished article. So then when he fought Klitschko, he was still learning on the job. Remember them days? Those were Joshua's destructive days, when he was learning on the job, knocking out people he should be knocking out. So I don't understand this rubbish about Joshua and the older than new Joshua. I don't get it. I'm not understanding it. My friends, I'm really not understanding. I'm not getting it. I'm not understanding what people are talking about. They're talking rubbish. Keep the facts as they are. You like Joshua when he was beating up bums. You like Joshua when he was knocking out people that were not notable. And then you say, like, that's the killer. That's not a killer. That's not a killer. That's a guy knocking guys out that is padding his record to make him look great. Those are the facts. It is what it is. So, yeah, I don't like listening to this nonsense. So Joshua looked like the old Joshua, like the old guy that was the old Joshua that was beating up guys that didn't have much of a purpose for life. Yeah, them dudes that you probably never hear of again. Matt Skelton, Kevin Johnson, what's this other guy's name? Was it Dominguez? I don't know. I don't know. Just dudes that just you're just not going to talk about again, or you're not going to talk about again with a straight face and say, "Yeah, AJ knocked at that dude." You're just not going to do that, are you? He knocked at Matt Skelton, so. Oh yeah, he knocked at Matt Leg, so. What's the other guy's name he fought? Just go through the list of them. Oh, he knocked out John Molina. And John Molina, when he came to fight him, Molina, I told you in the first 30 seconds, if John Molina's back touch rubs is getting knocked out. Yeah, the old Joshua was good against bums. That's it. And they're telling you rubbish about old Joshua. Old Joshua. It's the same Joshua, that same dude Joshua that went and fought against Ruiz and got exposed. When he tried to go in there and trade with a guy who had a good left hook and good combination puncher and takes a good shot and came to fight. So what does Ngannou have? He's got a good left hook, he takes a good shot, and he comes to fight. You know, so what we need to discover, what we need to find out now is that has John, you know, he doesn't throw a left hook as good as Ruiz, but he may throw a left hook more powerful than Ruiz. Yeah, when life and death of old Vlad. So yeah. That guy, that dude who's inexperienced, remember? Learning on the job. So that dude who's learning on the job is the dude that would have beaten Usyk. Yeah, right. These people, media, who are basically kissing the ass of Matchroom and his promoter. Because that's what they do. They're just telling you lies. Just telling you lies. Sweet little lies. It's what it is. And people gobble it up. Oh, it's true. Yeah, it's true. Remember when Joshua was like knocking them dudes out? Yeah, remember that Joshua? Yeah. And then he fought against good quality opposition. Tried to do that crap against Ruiz. Got his head knocked off for it. So guess what? Where was that same Joshua that fought the old dudes in the second fight against Ruiz? What happened? He got in his fight and he decided to box. Why? Because he didn't want to end up feeling what old Joshua felt. So what's he doing now? He's boxing now. Why? Because he don't want to feel what the old Joshua felt. And guess what? The fight against Volin, he looked like the old Joshua. Guess what? Because Volin offered no resistance. I wonder if the old Joshua is going to show up when he fights Ngannou. So if Ngannou brings resistance and throws punches back, and hits Joshua on the chin, are we going to see the old Joshua? Or are we going to see the new Joshua? Are we going to see a bit of both? Ultimately, if Ngannou finds that chin, with the left hook, because the left hook, the catch and shoot, is where I think Ngannou will make it. If Dillian Whyte can throw a catch and shoot against Joshua, and that was prime Joshua, yeah? I'm just spinning the narrative here. If that was the best Joshua that fought against Dillian Whyte, and Dillian Whyte, who was injured and is not, as far as I'm concerned, as technically skilled as Ngannou, and has not achieved the sort of things that Ngannou achieved in the UFC. You tell me, Ngannou doesn't stand a chance? Yeah, okay, if you say so. We'll likely see Herkovich fight next, which is better than this at least. Probably would like to see AJ versus Bacoli. I'd actually like to see Herkovich versus Bacoli, actually. That's a good fight to make. I believe they're going to try and make Parker against Zhang. If not Parker versus Zhang, they're going to try and make Wilder versus Zhang. If Wilder really wants to get laid out flat again, let him go fight Zhang, because he's not beating Zhang. No chance he's beating Zhang. One left hand from Zhang and Wilder's going to get splattered across that canvas. No. Not even the best of Wilder at any stage of his career beat Zhang. No, because I just think Zhang is technically better. He can box, Zhang. That's the thing, he can box. He can box. And all he'll do is walk Wilder back. He'll walk Wilder back, walk into ropes and land that left hand. And it's good night. And you know why? There's another one that likes to languish on ropes and back himself to ropes. It's okay. But he back himself to ropes and he'll be bounced off the ropes with a left hand straight down the pipe. I'm telling you now. And with Malik Scott, It's no good. Wallin was AJ's sparring partner for ages. AJ seems to be a control freak and needs to be fully comfortable to perform. Good matchmaking. Agree with you. It is absolutely beyond just how stupid so many boxing fans are. How can you not see the truth? Well, like Hearn and the Hearn said, boxing fans are mugs. Well, you can see why they're mugs. Parker Zhang already announced. God almighty, that's not a good fight for Parker. I don't think Parker beats Zhang. If he's going to beat Zhang, it's going to have to be the second half of the fight. It's going to have to be second half of the fight. And Zhang, again, is one of these guys that he can box. Zhang can box. He might not hit Parker the same way that he hit Joyce, because Joyce is more stationary. Parker can win the fight if you can keep away from that left hand, 1, and 2. He needs to be able to negotiate his space in the ring. Keep away from the ropes. Double up that jab. Lots of right hand, left hook combinations. And spin away. He cannot stay in one place against Zhang. You've got to make Zhang chasing around the ring. Exert energy. And in the late round, say like from 7 onwards, then start to apply the pressure on Zhang. I believe if Parker's in, he's got to be totally in against Zhang. And if he's out, he's got to be out onto the sides. But it's a good fight, though. Yeah, Wilder's right to turn it down. Yeah, he is. Zhang has got an elite left hand. But the thing is, his trainer, George, is a very good trainer. Zhang's trainer, George, is a very good trainer. You know, and he was... If you go back and listen to the interview, the press conference where Zhang's trainer, George, was talking to... what's his name? That manager. Joyce's manager. Listen to what that trainer is saying. He is really good, and I knew when they were talking, the way they were talking, that's for that second fight, I knew Joyce was getting knocked out. I knew Joyce was finished from that. Yeah, his feet's quite slow. In some ways, the strategy you would use to beat Wilder is a similar strategy you would use against Zhang, which is use your feet, move your head a lot. The difference between Zhang and Wilder is actually Zhang is more compact and he's a better boxer. He's not as wild as Wilder. He's fundamentally a better boxer. He's got it together. The jab, the straight right hand jab and the left hand, and he's good. He's good defensive, tucks up nicely, sets traps. Zhang, he's dangerous. So he's got to use that age, you know. And just because he's 40 doesn't mean that he's finished. He hasn't been in a lot of tough fights, Zhang, but he's got to make Zhang miss, make him pay. And if I'm Parker, work the body. Every time I can get a chance to work the body and work the body, that's what I'm doing. If I'm Parker, cross arm defense, get inside. When Zhang's against the rope, that body and get out. And just move. Back Zhang up against the ropes, body. And again, just the body. 4 or 5 rounds, wait for it. Yeah, the sneaky right hook, that sneaky right hook is because of Joyce, the way Joyce fights. I don't think he lands that sneaky right hand the same way because Joyce's his boxing IQ is not great. But his trainer did not help. He had a terrible trainer, Ismail Salas. I believe if Joyce had a better trainer, he would not have landed flat on his face. But if you've got flipping, I don't know. If you've got a keep fit trainer in your corner, then what do you expect? Salas might be good for low weights, but he's no heavyweight trainer. If I were Joyce, I'd get myself Ali Bashir. Damn good trainer. A damn good trainer. There's a few others out there, good trainers as well. Zhang never out of balance, to be fair, unless he's gassed. No, because he hasn't fought anybody to make him that. You look at Hrgović. He's slow. He's got slow feet, flat-footed, and I don't rate Hrgović. I'll say it again. I do not rate Hrgović. I don't rate him at all. I said this before about that big stiff idiot. What's his name? Makhmudov. I told you he was useless. And Makhmudov. Well, how did that work out for you? Ajit Kabayal, I rate that boy highly. You saw what Kabayal did with him. Makhmudov just got a big head and looked ugly. That's what it is. I think it's because he looked ugly. That's why people were scared of him. He's just ugly. Really ugly. So I wouldn't look at Zhang's fight with Joyce or Hergovich. Two people look like they've got steel balls and chains around their legs. I wouldn't look at those guys and use them as the example, because Parker can use his feet, can pick up his feet and he can move. You saw it against Wilder. So I would, if I'm Andy Lee, it's a similar sort of strategy for Parker. And I don't know, when's the last time Zhang fought? So there's that to take into consideration as well. All right, let me get out of here. Just to let you all know, I'm hosting an event in Nigeria on January the 27th. It is when I came to this village, it's like a city almost, 1.5 million people in it. They didn't know anything about cricket. 2 years on, we have softball, hardball. We've coached over 1,000 children. We now have 300 children taking part in a softball competition and a hardball competition we've got on January the 27th. So we're still looking for sponsors for the event. I will post the information on this page on BWTM Sports. But all the information really is on ECSM, which is Exodus Coaching Sports Management. That's the YouTube channel. You can see all the work we're doing. Terry Chafferman was saying Salas did more for Hay than Booth. I don't know. Maybe you know something I don't. You're probably right. I don't know. I don't know. I can't say that. I can't say yay or nay. Maybe he's right. I don't know. But yeah, please do check that out as well. I will send some information as well through. Thank you all so much for your support. It's nice to be doing these shows. As you can see, I don't have much light at the moment. That's just the way it is in Nigeria. We don't have 24-hour light. So I have to use my lamp here to do shows. Apparent Salad was training Hay for ages. Okay. But yeah, but you can't compare Salas. You can't compare Joyce to Hay. Hay's got speed and movement, cruiserweight coming up to heavyweight. You can't compare the two against Joyce, who's just got, like, he just stop shots with his chin like a goalkeeper. You can't compare the two guys. Can't compete. One guy's like a sniper, in and out. That's how Joyce should be, in and out. Instead, Joyce was just walking forward in straight lines, catching shots. So, you know. Anyway, congratulations to Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou. Great fight. The only shame for that for me, if I'm really honest with you, is that the fight should be in Africa. It's in Saudi Arabia, it's fine, but I would have liked it in Africa, because I would like to see that fight really, give some money somehow to helping the plight in Africa. I don't quite know how. And now being in Africa, looking at things, I kind of look at things in a very different way than what I did when I was in Europe. The thing is, I want to know, if I'm setting up something like this in Africa, I'd like to know where the money's actually going. If it's actually going to the people that it really matters to, or is making those people who've gotten rich be richer. Could say the same thing in Europe. So I'm not being biased one way or the other. But if I was going to do an event like that for Francis Ngannou and say it was going to be in Nigeria, wherever it was going to be in Africa, I want to make sure that money is going directly to building, either it's a center of excellence for boxing, or a library, or a youth center, or something of substance where I can see the money, I can see the thing being built. So when the event is going on, the center is there, not after the event and the money's brought in, the money's gone missing and they don't get built to how it's meant to be. Money, no. So it has to be something that I'm seeing the money there with it at the time as well. The fight should be in Africa. Of course it should be in Africa. What do you think of Callum's loss? Is that another hype British fighter going to the slaughter? Like I said in my short, Callum Smith, we knew from the John Ryder fight, Smith voluntarily backs himself to rope. It's a bad habit he's had for years. And I said, if you do that against Artur Beterbiev, you're going to get knocked out. So he just kept laying on the ropes. He was just inviting Artur Beterbiev in to get smashed to bits. So he was meat and drink. Callum was throwing some really good shots. In round 5, he was throwing really good body shots. I don't know why he wasn't doing it from round 1. But you can't box like that against elite fighters that like to get leverage in their shots, and you like basically say, hey, I'm going to lay in the ropes, I'm going to let you punch me now. And by the way, I don't know if you really noticed that fight carefully. Why are you looking at how devastating Beterbiev is? He's a dirty fighter. He punched Callum Smith at the back of his head. Go and look at the combination before Smith falls down. It's a punch that lands at the back of your head. And if you've ever got hit in the back of your head, it scrambles your senses and will take your feet away from you and you get discombobulated. So go and look back at the fight. Go back and look at the before Smith gets knocked down. And look at that combination. Artur Beterbiev is throwing punches at the back of the head, rabbit punches. He throws a punch cleanly at the back of the head. And at that point, the referee should have come in and said, and pulls Beterbiev off of Smith. But the fact that they lean up this fight with Bivol, they don't want the Bivol fight to fall through, they're just going to get Smith out of the way. That's what it is. I'm not saying Smith would have won the fight, but that knockout was contributed by, if you look at what happened to Smith, he got hit on the back of the head. A man that tall, that long, he did not, from round 1, he allowed Artur Beterbiev to just walk up on him. The jab, he was getting out a jab by Artur Beterbiev, who's much shorter. So it's no point being 6'3". There's no point being 6'3" and then boxing like a man that's 5'8". It is what it is. It's what it is. His best wins are Arm Groves, one Arm Grove, Ryder, which I knew he was going to lose, and Rocky Bloody Fielding, and they were told elite. Well, you know the fight that slipped Smith, Bramer. That's the fight he should have had, Bramer. You never fought Bramer. You never fought Jürgen Bramer, and you wonder where Jürgen Bramer went after that fight, because he meant to fight Jürgen Bramer, and Jürgen Bramer went missing. Remember that? The Smiths were complaining about fighting Jürgen Bramer. You saw what happened. Jürgen Bramer went missing. There's that fight. And Jürgen Bramer, I don't think ever fought again. Jürgen Bramer. Then he was offered Smith was offered a fight against the guy that Bivol beat up, who was unbeaten. He was unbeaten until Bivol fought him. I think the Mexican. He was offered that fight, and Smith turned that fight down as well when he was Joe Gallagher. And then he had a fight offered to him by, I think, the super middleweight champion. Yeah, Gilberto. When Gilberto was WBO champion, Smith turned down that fight, and then Gilberto moved up to the light heavy. And there was another fight he got turned down as well. Smith avoided. So I think Smith is going to retire now, because I don't see what he's going to do now, unless he suddenly decides to want to fight Anthony. He could fight Boatsy. I think he can knock Boatsy out. And he could fight Yard. That's a good fight. Could probably have a fight between the two Callums, Smith and Johnson. Good fight there. Yeah, so, yeah. All right, let me get out of here. Thank you all for watching. This has been BWTM Sports and Gaming. I'm out.